Hello, it is Olga Tomanova speaking to you. I'm glad and welcoming everyone who is joining us to Ukraine today. Right now, let me announce the schedule of events for us today. At 11, we will hear from Vasyl Bondar, the ambassador of Ukraine in Turkey, speaking about the meeting between Putin and Erdogan. At 2 p.m. we are going to speak about the war and education. We will have with us Inna Sosun, co-founder of Smart Education, and also the Ukrainian educational ombudsman Sergei Gorbachev. Also, then we will have the chance to speak of the situation at the Ukrainian borders at checkpoints at 3 p.m. And right now, let us discuss with Dmytro Pletenchuk, the spokesman of the Ukrainian Navy, the situation in the Black and Azov seas. Hello and welcome. We know that this night the occupiers have attacked Ukrainian territory, specifically in Odessa region. What is the situation right now? What is the situation in the Black Sea? Speaking of the attack on the infrastructure, well, it has to be commented by the structure responsible for defense of this house. I can inform about the number of enemy ships in the sea. It is 11. Also, one of them is the carrier of missiles, and also there is one more in the Sea of Azov. We can see the increased attention of the enemy to the Kerch bridge. They are trying to protect this illegal structure. There are 6 ships of the Russian Federation. Most of their ships are situated to the south of the bridge, and some of them to the north. So, speaking of this Crimean bridge, we have seen some footage yesterday, some satellite images that, allegedly the bridge has been restored. Do you have any data on this? Yes, we can confirm that they fixed one of the flights of the bridge. The repairs are still going on. Both parts of the bridge, the road transportation parts, are undergoing this process. We do not have the full update whether they are ready to use, so wait for the updates. Speaking of the other possible logistical pathways from the peninsula, what is the situation with the bridges? Well, yeah, it's more or less the same. 2 of the 4 pathways were impacted 2 weeks ago, and right now they are partially using them. So we also can see that they are stopping the use of the ferries after the incident was one of them. Okay, so one more question I am interested to hear about is the work to restore the grain corridor. We hear from the monitoring experts that allegedly 4 ships or more managed to use these new pathways from the port of Odessa to their destinations. Is this information correct? Can we be sure that some of the pathways are already available? Yes, we have already 4 positive cases of civilian ships leaving our waters. One is currently in the waters of the Black Sea, one more in the port of Romania, which was its destination. So yeah, this corridor is available. It is been described by the Ukrainian armed forces as the safest of the existing pathways, and our military are ensuring the safety there. And also in the northwestern part of Black Sea, the Russian occupiers are not present. Yes, we know that these ships that are trying to safely leave the ports of Odessa, these are the ships that have been there since February 2022. How many ships are still waiting for their chance to leave the port? We are providing the information about the numbers of the civilian ships that they have to report to us as well. We know about a certain number, but we are not ready to share information right now about the plans for the movements of the ships in the future. The only thing I can say is that this corridor is available right now, and some are using it. We also know that our armed forces have been using sea drones quite successfully, and the occupiers are somehow getting ready to protect from them. Is their protection measures that they are installing, are they effective? As we have mentioned on many occasions, right now there are no fences in the sea that we are not ready to overcome. So yeah, they are trying to block the most dangerous areas in their understanding, but once again, let me remind you that it is a 19 kilometers area, and fully crossing all the access to the bridge, it's impossible because they would have to turn the sea into a lake to implement this fully. And of course, this is something they cannot do because they are using the occupied ports of Ukraine for the logistical purposes, for the delivery of equipment and ammunition to the occupying forces, and also for exporting the stolen metal and grains. So they need to have that corridor for their own use. Yeah, we have some questions here in the room. Hello, I'm from Ukraine Forum, and I have a question. What is the probability, in your opinion, of using calibers launched from the Black Sea? Well, especially taking into account that they have to go through the NATO countries' airspace, and we already have some experience of UAVs of the enemy falling down on the NATO territory. And my next question is, what is the total number of Russian enemy ships in the Black Sea, and is Turkey still blocking their access? So, yeah, you have two questions with sub-questions. Okay, so answering your question one, yeah, the operational grouping of the Black Sea is there. They cannot cross the Bosporus. So right now the majority of those ships is staying in the ports. The probability of such launches of these missiles is very low because, as you have rightly mentioned, they would have to fly over the NATO territory, which greatly reduces such possibility. Can they use any other pathways? If we look at the Dmytro Convention, despite the closed Bosporus, they could change the port, but still it doesn't work. So the only remaining pathway is the Sea of Azov, and so they have already taken some ships from there, but still in the Caspian Sea area the situation is not the easiest for them, so they will need to keep some of the ships there. And also there is a possibility that some smaller ships can be brought from the Baltic fleet, but this is mainly theory. So mainly the ships that are being transferred, they are transferred from the Caspian Sea, and also they have some attempts of the production of the new ships, and they have attempted the launch of their missile launcher Cyclone, but Cyclope, and well, it was not fully developed. Over the 2 years it was not able to launch any missiles, and it's still unable to do that. So as you can see, they are basically closed in the Black Sea. As for the numbers, there are up to 50 ships and up to 20 or 30 motorboats, and yeah, that's basically it. Also, we could also add the fleet they are using to rob the occupied territories, and the idea is to bring some of the items from the occupied territories of Ukraine to Russia first, and to reload them to other ships. Okay, our last question is about the situation in the Sea of Azov. What's happening there right now? As I have mentioned, there are two things happening. On the one hand, this sea is used to ensure logistics and for the exports. Right now it's not being considered as the site of combat operations. The maximum depth of the Sea of Azov is just 15 meters, so no big ships are using it. And well, unfortunately it has now temporarily become an inner sea of Russia, but we do not see anything important happening there. Thank you, Dmytro, so much for finding time to join us, dear colleagues. This was Dmytro Pletenchuk, the speaker of the Ukrainian Navy, and we will have our next conversation at 11:30. Stay with us, and glory to Ukraine.